that higher price and you ran out of those things.
Do you want to know?
My God, I want my money back.
This is Shayna.
And Kris.
And we are Bad Queers. If you came out of the closet and got put in a box of stereotypes you don't belong to, then welcome to the Bad Queers Club.
All right, this week in Queer Urban Dictionary, I have two-spirit, or 2S. Two-spirit is an umbrella term encompassing sexuality and gender in indigenous Native American communities. Two-spirit people often serve integral and important roles in their communities, such as leaders and healers. The term may refer to an embodiment of masculinity and femininity, but this is not the only significance of the term. There are a variety of definitions and feelings about the term two-spirit, so this term does not resonate for everyone, but it does exist. Two-spirit.
My Queer Urban Dictionary word of the week I got from the internet. I love when people make up terms. It brings me joy.
Yeah.
So this term, word of the week, is homochondriac. Homochondriac. So this is for folks who think that they are homophobic, but they're actually just scared that they're gay. Homochondriac. Okay. You know, the internet is unmatched. Shout out to lilyworld.cm on IG for this definition. But a homochondriac, person who's just actually scared that they're gay. So they act out against the queer community as a result. Just feels good. Just feels good to say, you know? So yes, well, let's go ahead and praise, pray, tell. Our first category is O'Shae Sibley's killer is convicted.
Yeah, this is a follow-up to reporting back in 2023, the tragic killing of O'Shae Sibley. A jury has convicted a 20-year-old, young kid, Dmitry Popov, of first-degree manslaughter as a hate crime in that 2023 killing of O'Shae Sibley, who was a Black gay dancer who was fatally stabbed after a confrontation at a Brooklyn gas station. Prosecutors argue that Popov, I really don't care about saying his name. The killer targeted Sibley and his friends and anti-gay and racist taunts while they were dancing and voguing to a Beyonce song, minding their business. And that killing was motivated by hate. The killer claimed he acted in self-defense, but the jury rejected that argument, finding him guilty of manslaughter as a hate crime, along with several lesser charges, including menacing and weapons possession. The jury did not convict him on the more serious crime of murder as a hate crime, which could have resulted in a life sentence. He now faces between 8 and 25 years in prison and is scheduled to be sentenced June 30th next week. The verdict comes nearly 3 years after O'Shae Sibley's death and was a rallying point for us and advocates against anti-Black and anti-LGBTQ violence. So rest in peace again to O'Shae Sibley, and prayers still to his family and friends. Justice was served in the way that justice is served here. I'm glad he got convicted. And yeah, still just so sad. Minding his business, dancing to Beyonce at a gas station. And, you know, this 17-year-old, he was 17 at the time. So
yeah,
hate starts early. It starts early.
It goes to show what influences could happen, because who knows if other people were around and they just sent him over to do it, and not to like excuse any of the actions.
No.
And it's so rare that we see justice carried out for our community when it comes to senseless killings.
Yeah. And like clear hate crimes too, you know. He could have got that more serious charge. You know, I would imagine the burden of proof is a little bit higher to convict him of that. But certainly, even as you mentioned, the influences, like you even think 3 years ago, And even now, like, you know, the algorithms this kid at the time got caught up in, and the things that like grew his hate. Like, he lived in New York, and we forget how hateful some people could be in very diverse cities and big cities and everything. But like, yeah, he made that mistake. And like O'Shae Sibley is no longer with us, but this kid is, he's out of here. I would think that he is sentenced. We'll see what happens actually with the sentencing, because 8 to 25 years is interesting. And you even see, it's also interesting, the disparity in sentencing, you know, between the states, where you do have a Carmelo Anthony getting 34, 35 years on what should have been a manslaughter charge, not a murder, a manslaughter charge. You get Rick Child doesn't do any time essentially for literally hunting down, you know, a kid over and killing him over water in South Carolina. But, you know, this in New York, 8 to 25 of manslaughter. So, you know, again, rest in peace to O'Shae Sibley, and prayers to his family and friends. And I hope they feel like they got justice, but also I want to hold off until sentencing happens, because 8 to 25 is quite a range. And even 25 is a little low, even though I don't like prisons, but it's like, you do need to sit down. Like, you did this. Like, you got to be off. You got to be away from society in some way for a while. Like, clearly you can't be around us or anybody.
They probably gave a bit of grace because of the age. But that's all you can really give the grace on. I'm interested to see or check out what else the defense had. I wonder if
I do wonder.
Like, did they have and
other
like
things?
Was it there a sob story? Was there anything like not that that's going to change anything. I am just genuinely curious to see what the argument was on that side.
Things happen. Like, who knows what environment he, you know, grew up in, was in, what he was caught up in, and all that. Like, you know, it's crazy what has happened to people's minds in the last 10 plus years, especially with how social media is and the algorithms of making people mad and disinformation and, you know, misinformation and all that. Like, the people who, you know, really get wrapped up in that and like are out of here. So, you know, we'll see what happens with sentencing. So, okay, well, I feel like this next category is like not surprising at all, but the New York Times helped turn trans rights into political controversy, and analysis finds. This is from them, who wrote about this, but it's like, of course they did. Like, they were wildin'. But a new analysis of more than 3,200 New York Times articles, 3,200, argues that the paper's coverage of transgender issues shifted significantly beginning in 2022, focusing more on political conflict and debates over healthcare and the science. The report claims its coverage increasingly centered controversy around trans people rather than stories about trans people's everyday lives, cultures, experiences. Critics, including GLAAD, say the Times often covered trans issues without sufficiently including transgender voices or advocacy groups in those stories. The New York Times has rejected these findings, saying its reporting is fair, fact-based, and reflects major legal, medical, and political developments. The debate highlights a larger question about media responsibility when coverage frames a community primarily through controversy and policy fights. How does that shape public understanding of that community? So the analysis author argues that because the Times reporting is frequently cited by lawmakers and courts and advocacy groups, editorial decisions about framing and sourcing can have impacts far beyond the newsroom, which they have. Like,
they have consistently.
They very much have. Like, we've said it before, but, you know, the Trump campaign spent almost $250 million on anti-trans ads, and they very much worked. So, like, you can't even, like, it's not even really up for debate. It's not for the New York Times even, even debate that. Like, it did happen. Like, it did shape, policy, and then just how, trans folks were covered, their lives were covered. So, very interesting. This analysis was published on last Friday by civil rights attorney Alejandra Caraballo in the Dissident, and reviewed again 3,200 Times articles published between 2014 and early 2026. So a very big range. It wasn't just like no small sample size.
And I know that a lot of those samples came in the last fewish years of that.
Yeah. But even to be able to, to have the full picture of coverage, like pre-Trump even announcing or even coming on the scene from 2014 to 2026, things have changed. Like, it's a complete reversal and switch for pretty much all marginalized groups, but certainly trans folks, and how that coverage goes and taking that time to look at how they change and how they frame things is important. So I'm glad people are doing that work, because it is just like the New York Times has some great and smart and intelligent people, and they also have some people with agendas and like completely careless, completely oblivious to like how their words are impacting like, everyday lives. So, something we knew.
Have investors deep in their pockets.
They do. And then the New York Times and our papers and our media, it's not just even New York Times. They've been guilty of that since the beginning of time. Like, Black people still have bad marketing and press and framing from, predominantly white or all white and many years, hundreds of years, newspapers and stuff like that. Like, if you don't have anything to combat that, and if you are the New York Times, one of the most respected newspapers in the world, then your word is kind of bond for a lot of people. Like, they're going to use this stuff. They're going to shape culture and policy with it. That's why like media is so important. So that's why, for better or for worse, even though I do think they should take podcasts away, or podcast mics away from some people, or, there's a lot of voices of stuff, you kind of almost have to have it, because for the longest time, it would just be these big outlets that kind of set, culture for everything. So glad somebody checked up on them. Just so y'all are clear, like, it's been biased. Like, we did a study. We did the things. They did the math in private and in public. So good for them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For doing that.
Thank you for doing math. Thank you for doing math and analysis.
Yes.
All those
deep
footnotes.
Deep analysis.
Over
a long time.
And what other words can we use here? In bibliography, just because I haven't said it in a while.
Good. Investigative. Investigative was good. Yeah. Yeah.
Call numbers. They probably went to a library. They sat down.
There's statistics.
They opened the book. Statistics. Yeah. Is historical evidence and data. They probably did a little bit of science. Honestly, they did the science. I
agree.
As well.
They also had to cite. Remember when we had to cite everything?
Cite your sources.
Thank you.
What style do you think? What style? Where'd they go with it?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
My gosh. What
Because
style did they do?
if they're going the more science route, what was that one? It was like the ABA.
I don't know. I just know there was like AP. There was like Chicago. There was APA. Somebody's yelling this at us right now. This is as far as we went.
Somebody.
This is shit I buried.
This is real upset with us.
We're gonna find out. Let's see. Citation
Somebody
styles.
is real upset
because
with
this
us.
is one of the
I
things
buried that
didn't feel right. When I was doing MLA.
There we go.
What else do they have?
Is there an ABA?
Yeah, APA, yeah, for sure. That's
APA. Okay, I said
Psychological
APA.
Association.
I was close.
MLA, Modern Language Association.
Man,
Chicago.
I hated
IEEE. IEEE. And that's used across engineering, computer science, and information technology. Me neither. That's why.
I feel
and then
like
AMA.
Some IT
AMA
had to be in here.
AMA.
That's what I think. That's what I was thinking.
That's what you wanted to. Yeah, that's what you meant. Yeah. Because that's used extensively in medicine, nursing, and public health. So AMA, they did it all. What is this? Turibian? Turibian?
Got nothing.
You don't know that one?
Nothing.
I don't know that one.
Again,
yeah, we didn't have to do that one. Somebody knows.
Because it's a queer community. I know that a bunch of people majored in English lit and English things, and they're yelling at us right now. Yeah. And we recognize that. But know that Kris and I never went into any of those areas. We just did it, got the grade, and left it back there.
Yeah. You just do
left
it.
it back there.
You just do it. You know, we were getting into the No Child Left Behind years with stuff, so they started to move to different technique. You just had to finish it, and you just be done. Okay. And then when was the No Child Left Behind Act? 2002.
Oh,
so yep, we were. You know,
So,
there was
yep,
actually,
we were
and that's
in it.
what's so funny. What's so funny is like there's a very clear difference in like education when I was in primary school, intermediate school, and all that, and really up to middle school, because 2002. And of course, you know, it takes a year or so to get it kicked in. I was about to be in high school. So, right? Yeah. Yeah. Because I was in high school 2003 to 2007. So, and my high school education was actually my worst. And I went to probably the more underfunded high school in Chesapeake. So, great times though. Wow. Love y'all. We did a great job. It was really diverse. I always went to very diverse like schools and all that, you know.
Yeah,
so
same.
Happy for that.
Which was nice.
You know, thank God, you know. And that's kind of makes up for it, you know. We may not have had pretty much anything the other high schools had, but you know, at least we had each other. And that's important culturally. It's important. So, all right, well, that was back down memory lane there. Shout out to everybody who had to do the different citation styles, because that was a thing. And these people did do that with this analysis. Hated it. It was so stupid.
Proud of everybody who did this. So shout out to you just solely for that.
Did it. You know? Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Our next category is the Native Son Awards marks 10 years of Black queer excellence. We love to see it. We love to highlight it. So the Native Son Awards celebrated its 10th anniversary during Pride Month and Juneteenth, honoring Black queer leaders, artists, and change makers while centering joy, visibility, and community. This year's honorees include filmmaker Anthony M. Hemingway, Grammy-winning singer Duran Bernard, who I did get to see this past weekend for Pride Fest.
Oh, nice. Nice.
And we'll be seeing again when Kehlani comes back. So, Summer of Durand. Actor Tremel Tillman and activist, entrepreneur, and cultural advocate Guy Anthony. A recurring theme throughout the evening was the power of visibility. Honorees spoke about living authentically as Black queer people and creating pathways for future generations to see themselves reflected in positions of success and leadership. The celebration featured performances, tributes, and appearances from notable supporters, including Dallin Burnside, Cynthia Erivo, and Tamron Hall. Beyond the awards, Native Son highlighted ongoing work around HIV prevention, sexual health, wellness, and economic empowerment for Black queer communities, including support for emerging artists and creatives. For the first time, the organization expanded the event into a full weekend experience, which deserved. Reinforcing its mission to ensure Black queer people are not only visible, but celebrated, supported, and able to thrive. And this comes from Ebony Mack.
Yeah. Congratulations to Native Son. 10 years of the Native Son Awards, and founder Emil Wilbekin. Y'all follow them if you're not on IG at Native Son Now. So many great photos from that night, and it just looks so warm and great in there. You know, just again, Black excellence in the same room. They had Native Son House Saturday, which is their first time having like something after the awards, a full day of stuff. So shout out to them. 10 years is nothing to sneeze at for any Black queer organization, any Black organization. So yeah, I'm glad we have things like that. Shout out to them. Look moisturized in there. I felt the warmth through the photos. So shout out to them.
Good for them. Some more shout outs about to come up because we haven't done any WNBA updates lately, but we are now in the season. So our final category for today is our WNBA updates. And especially this past week, what a time it was on the court. So mind you, this season has already given us so much in terms of the games, lots of buzzer beaters, but also lots of people getting blown out, and not in the way that you want them to get blown out, you know? Speaking about the Sky, speaking about them specifically, we're doing our best over here. We're doing our best. We really miss Rakia a lot. I miss
forgot.
her. I've never missed somebody so much.
Yeah.
Because you see where the gap is. You see who was there to fill it. And we had it for a bit, and then we see what happens when it's gone. And we were just like, wow.
That would have been so cool to have a full season, just healthy season.
Could have been.
Yeah. Dejanay Carrington's not ready yet either, right? She should be back.
So we haven't seen her come in, which should help with us in the paint a little bit. But we don't have nobody in the paint to block. I don't know what Camilla is doing this season. Elizabeth Williams, you're a good human. God, if you don't stop double bouncing on your tiptoes when you shoot a free throw. Azure, I was excited for you to come back because you were doing well in LA, and then you come back here, and what are we doing? Like, we don't know what you're doing.
Yeah,
we don't know.
It's y'all's management,
but
man.
This isn't
and coaching.
This isn't about this guy. We're going to talk about everybody else. So let's talk about the biggest game that happened this weekend. The 30th anniversary game between the LA Sparks and the New York Liberty. Now that was a time to be had. So they celebrate the 30th anniversary, which the inaugural game was Liberty versus Sparks. They reenacted the jump off. They brought back the legends from both LA Sparks and from New York Liberty to attend the game, and it was a game. Now, mind you, everybody who was talking about this game recognizes that the New York Liberty should have come in and swept the floor with the Sparks. And the Sparks said, not today. In the most poetic finish of any game of all time, with like under 10 seconds left, the Sparks have the ball. They're passing it in. Erica Wheeler goes in the paint. She realizes that there's a wall of people there. She passes it out to Nneka, who's standing at the point of the three. She looks. She shoots. All of us collectively hold a breath. And she scores right at the buzzer. Nneka.
That's hilarious.
Like, if this doesn't show that Nneka should be the next president.
Oh my God.
WNBA,
I knew you were about to round that up. I was like, this reach you about to do with her being like, that should be the cherry on top of why she should be.
She's wearing the number 30. It's on the 30th anniversary. She is the president of the Players Association, and she makes the game-winning shot. You can't tell me nothing else. The universe wants it. I want it. It's Nneka. So,
that's hilarious.
Thank you for coming along on that journey. It was an amazing game. Congratulations to everybody. Honestly, really, congratulations to DJ Treese for, they're an OG fan, and the joy that they had in their videos brought me joy. Treese does the encore interviews and commentary and highlights everything. So, really, congratulations to Nneka and congratulations to Treese. Like, great work. We love to see it. Another great game that happened this week: the Dallas Wings versus Seattle Storm last night. I had to fight for sleep to stay up and watch this game. This was an amazing game. It was the battle of the youngins, okay? We had Paige and we had Dominique Malonga. Back and forth and back. Okay, Dominique Malonga became the youngest player in WNBA history to record over 30 points in a game. She ended the game with 37 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks against the Dallas Wings. And Paige ties Alana Deldon as the 4th fastest in WNBA history to score 1,000 points. Mind you, in the last 90 seconds of that game that put them into overtime, Paige scored 8 points. It was back and forth of okay, here, we're going to have Awafam go score 3. Come back, Paige, score 3. Dominique Malonga is going to get in the paint, score. Come back, Paige scores. Paige said, y'all want to finish this game?
We're going to win this game. We're going to win this game.
So they go into overtime. Again, it's close, back and forth and back. The offense is amazing. Defense is non-existent. But we love the shots because the shots were great. Everybody was moving, grooving. It was wonderful. Paige gets off a shot at the end that puts them up by a point and finishes the game. My God. It was a great game. It was a great game. I loved it. So, we are getting these games that are sending, the crowd, what do they call it? The crowd pop, where it's just something happens and then you jump up and scream. The crowd pops have been pretty consistent this season. If somebody doesn't do a decibel meter, to see how the teams go, because I think that would be very fun to do for the teams. So
yeah,
we love all of the games that have been happening, how exciting they've been. We have some other celebrations
they've been competitive, you know, which has been good. Like you said, it's either competitive or it's a blowout.
Yes.
And it's just like nights where
and there's like no in between.
Teams that are,
I feel like none of the games have any in between.
Yeah. No, because even the Seattle Storm game, the Storm have the worst record in the WNBA. Like they just got up for that game and then, you know, show flashes
Which is
of what
wild to
it
me.
Can be, you know. It is wild that they are last.
They're
like,
playing great games.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are playing great games. Like Seattle does not deserve to be in the spot that they're in, because they are actually doing really well for their first year coach, bringing in a bunch of like new people. I know that our fam didn't get to come in until a bit later and like things like this. So they're still gelling as a group, but overall they're pretty healthy and they have an amazing group. Tish is killing it. Like love seeing Natisha Heidemann finally getting like her
Up
due
there,
and some visibility rather than being like an off the bench player like she is starting. It's fun to see. They'll
put it together. They'll put it together.
Yeah.
Maybe they want an extra.
I mean, we're early in the season.
Good draft pick.
Early in the season.
Yeah. Get somebody else next year. They're like, let's try and get somebody else too. Like we're doing pretty good here. Look, trust the process, I guess.
Process.
Because it is very interesting because, I mean, they have the same. Them and Connecticut have the same record, and you know Connecticut is just trying to get a good draft pick before they move to Houston, which sucks because Connecticut is a great basketball state and deserve to have a competitive team in their last year, but they have packed it in. They are just ready to move to, spiritually they're in Houston already, so they're just kind of going through the motions. But Seattle is like actual like competitive, like the record could be so different, but they're also learning how to play together and all that, so they'll be all right. They'll be okay, you know. I am personally impressed with just the continued ascent of the Washington Mystics. Their record doesn't show it, but that's a good ass. That's gonna be a great team for a while
fucking
too.
Team.
That's a good team. Team. They're gonna be around for a while with things, and they have so many good players, and that is just exciting there. The Liberty had, you know, they started off a little rocky. I know they are missing Sabrina and all that at the beginning of the season, but they seem to be getting kind of on track and getting things together record wise. You know what? I went to the Golden State game on Juneteenth, and they were against the Lynx and everything. Still haven't beat the Lynx. Are the only team they haven't beaten yet. And shout out to LaVon for taking me. It was a fun game, but I don't trust that they could just like consistently have a score. Their defense is so good, but then when they're like the threes aren't falling, they look like so pedestrian. So I think that I wish they had like another like true score. Like I love Gabby Williams. They have some great players that have good nights, but like they need somebody proven. Like I feel like if they had like I don't know who could be on their team and kind of instantly change things, but they need somebody who just like consistently just a walking bucket. Like actually don't do anything but score. We got defense. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like she wouldn't fit on there, but I don't know who they get. You know, they need somebody who's like really good though. Just the offense could be anemic. And yeah, you know, it's interesting so far with this season how things are going. The Dream look great. Aces look great.
Look good.
You know, Lynx look great, and they don't even have Fee yet. They're doing this without.
Like
they
that's
don't
what
even have her. It's so scary.
Knowing that Fee is going to come back this season,
it's crazy.
Is absurd.
With Olivia Miles, you know, who
the passing
is rookie of the year. It's hers to lose. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be nasty.
That will occur. The shooting, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Mind you, so at one point I had like all three of the guards on my fantasy team. I have a terrible habit of doing this when the teams have really good guards. So I had Kayla McBride, Courtney Williams, and Olivia. I ended up dropping Kayla Stargirl because I was like, I should be responsible about this and spread it out. But
Yeah.
Having those three on my team, I was like, wow, my points are consistently high.
Yeah. They work really well together. Even with Olivia Miles' off game and worst game as a pro the other night, like Courtney looked great. McBride stepped it up in the second half. Nia Coffey had a great game overall, but like,
yeah, and
they're like, I got you.
Olivia is still impactful. Olivia is still
to account
doing
for her.
Things
they do
that are in there, and those are things that you're not going to see on the score chart and stuff, and like on the stat sheet. You're not going to see it on the stat sheet what she was doing. She was being incredibly smart about her movement, the ways that she did stuff. I was like, she had a couple blocks, she had a couple steals. She was able to just move in space and cause chaos. Like, her presence is chaotic. It's like how Asia does it. And Olivia is about to be at the point where Asia is. Asia has off nights, but she is still incredibly effective on the court.
Gotta account for her.
Because her presence is chaotic for other teams.
There's no less than 4 assists that she definitely should have had off of just the best gift of a pass, but Jay just couldn't, finish for whatever reason. And it's just effortless. Like, you just have to, my goodness, she's gonna be a star for a long time. A star, okay? That's a star also, right there.
Big shout out to Cheryl Reeves.
Oh, yeah.
Her one-liners at these press conferences and stuff, I feel like she's even more relaxed because she's like, you know what? I've done it. I've done it. Even when she was talking about the loss, she was like, oh, yeah, no, the crowd was great. We should have done it for the gays. Should have done it for the gays. But
and she's right. She knows.
She's so fucking chill. And I'm like, it's because she sees the future. And she ain't even stressed. Cheryl ain't even stressed. And I love her. Yes. I was like, one week she's talking about supporting black women and how it's ridiculous that there's no other black women coaches in a league that is filled with black women. She's like, that's dumb. And then to go talking about, should have done it for the gays. Done.
And she's that ass. Like, yeah, she girl, was that ass. Don't be embarrassing me at home.
No, her little mini Miles is like her little mini crash out with her, like, and go out and talk her shit. And Cheryl's like, do that. Like, you see other coaches trying to calm down their rookies and doing the stuff, and Cheryl's just like, go. Yeah. Have your way.
I know that she did calm her down with Asia. She was like, everybody but Asia, girl, don't wait. Don't. She's not her. Not Asia. Everybody else is fine. Even though, thing, but like not that one.
Even though she did kind of have her way a little bit with Asia. Like, hey.
She did. I mean, again, Olivia Miles, a star. Okay, like Olivia Miles is gonna have all the things. Like, it's just, the league is just in such good hands between Olivia and Paige and
Flage,
all the. Flage. Even the sophomore folks, Sonia Citron, Key, like, they're in great hands.
Sonia.
Sonia.
Cameron. Cody
great.
McMahon.
So.
Oh, my God. Isaiah.
Yeah, they're good.
Everybody's looking good. Even some of the juniors are starting to, like, be able to have their times. Like, Zaya Cook is finally getting her credit due. I'm like, yes. Get some of the people who have been in here for a few years. Like, yes, finally. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for all of them. So, yeah. What else we got going on? So, Brittany Griner is now in first on the WNBA's all-time blocks list. I believe the number was 878. So she's going to continue to hold that spot. It's great. Love that. Wow. Go, Brittany. As you should, because that'd be strange if you weren't. And some off-court things. Flage announced that she will be playing in Unrivaled Season 3, so we'd love to see some of the rookies. I was like, we're also getting Gabby Williams playing. Joy. Yes, we got her playing. But in the plot twist of a lot of plot twists for people, AZ Fudd, she's going to be playing for Project B in the off season.
I think that's good. So that's healthy.
It was really funny to see how, like, the first initial announcements of Project B, it was just like, hey, can y'all just send us like a selfie video that announces who's going to be playing in Project B? Just send us a little selfie video. We'll get it posted. AZ had a whole rollout for her announcement, like produced, scripted, announced, like they put money behind her. And I was like, oh, is this what we're doing? This what's happening? Okay. I see y'all. I see it.
That's so funny.
I see the vision.
I'm looking at this article right now from Front Office Sports that says Unrivaled and Project B are in an arms race for WNBA talent. Because I was like, if AZ's going to Project B, they gave her probably the biggest bag, maybe equity. They're like, we need 100%. Somebody that has to be over here. We have to have that. So, and I love it. I love that there's, places to go that aren't overseas.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting. And also, if Paige is gonna do Unrivaled again, like they should probably let's spend some time, apart. Let's just let me go over there, you go over there, let's make
it'd be healthy. It's a good time.
Good. Be good. Yeah.
I mean, they're used to it because they have been. They played in college.
Yeah.
They
did, but now you know how they
deserve to have a little
for AZ,
independence.
is that
AZ deserves to go somewhere and make her
drafted WNBA Project B, whereas like Paige did get to year two. Okay, had a summer, had some time off, or kind of. So, but yeah, I'm glad that they are, because even just again, the more leagues, the more competition out here, I want them to have as much money that they deserve. So, very cool. It'd be interesting to see who else is going to Project B.
I love that in the last year, the key folks that we have talked about, I have been able to get photos with in Chicago.
Oh,
because
we'll put them
I
up.
have
Where are the photos?
Olivia Miles. Okay, because we have the Olivia Miles.
Okay.
Because she was dating, and this is what I need to know. I don't know if her and Maddie Westbeld are still dating.
Maybe
we don't
not.
know, but she came to the game and was there, and me and my friend ran down and we're like, hey, can we get a photo? Like, it was so cool, was so nice, so chilled, no surprise. Was out there with the big fro up. I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah.
And then also, it was for Paige's rookie season. I had just come from a networking event. My friend and I went to get ice cream at Jenny's across the street. And we got caught there because it was storming. Paige and AZ run in to get ice cream.
Oh, okay. I think I saw that one. That one you sent me. The other ones I don't think I saw. I think you were somewhere. Maybe I've seen it. Yeah. I don't know. You sent me something. I think it was them though. I want to say it was Paige and AZ.
I feel like I sent the
like
Paige
both
one,
of them. Yeah,
I was like,
one.
how? What?
Here you are. You're here.
And now look at this. It was like telling the future. I love this. I love.
Yeah.
I love women's sports.
Yeah.
That's how we do it. So yeah.
Other people for Project B, because I have it pulled up.
Good job.
Project B will, I don't know if it's kicking off this year, but they're going to play all over the world from November to April. So they have AZ Fudd, Awa Pham, Nneka Ogwumike.
Okay.
Nneka Ogwumike, Alyssa Thomas, Jonquil Jones, Jewel Lloyd, and Kelsey Mitchell right now. And they say many young players from around the world are expected to play in the league. And this is a 5-on-5 league. They'll have 6 teams, 11 players that will compete, 7 2-week tournaments across the globe in Europe, Asia, and the Americas. So Valencia, Spain, and Tokyo have been announced as the 2 cities that will host the new league. Tokyo will have games from March 25th to April 4th. So, okay, they're doing a little different. They were like
tickets.
Overseas in the Americas. They were like, this is a global one. I like that. Huh? I like it.
New
Options.
access. I wonder what the TV deal is going to look like. Because how are we going to stream that all over the world, It's going
to be interesting. And then, like, who's going to take the chance on it, because they don't know yet how it will do. But, like, who's going to be like, let's just get in there early, Let's get in there early. So.
Because they got to make that accessible.
They do.
To watch.
They do.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to our advice segment, Am I a Bad Queer, where we give you goodish advice for your questions and dilemmas. Send your questions to badqueers.com. Hit us up on IG at badqueerspod or email us at badqueers@badqueers.com. Okay. This first one is from Christine. Christine asks, am I a bad queer if I want to get ahead of the honeymoon phase? I'm starting to date again after being single for over a year. One of the things I've hated since being single is watching my friends get into relationships and then they disappear. I know the honeymoon phase is a thing, but I felt really lonely during those times and I don't want to repeat the pattern. How do I make sure I don't disappear on friends whenever I get into the honeymoon phase? Christine. Damn, Christine, I would not want to skip this phase. Good phase, fun phase. You could just be mindful of just the time that you just calendar out. I don't know, times with friends. Like, I think it's okay to, I do want there to be a balance
skip
of
the good parts.
Like, why would you want to skip that? Don't disappear. But yes, you are building a relationship with someone. Your time is going to be altered in terms of which you spend it with your friends versus this person that you are dating and building with. again, there's just got to be a happy balance there. You can just make sure that you, again, dedicate certain times, certain days, certain things to friends, that you don't disappear, because we don't want that to happen. And it happens all the time. Like, it's not intentional, but you do know how it feels. So it's good that you're aware and mindful of it. But girl, don't skip this phase. Just calendar it out. Get on the same page as your friends. Make sure you're still communicating with them and all that. And I think they'll be fine. They kind of get it. I mean, people get it. Just don't disappear.
People get it.
Yeah, people understand. Like, let's just, don't skip the honeymoon phase. My God. Like, this is
right. Like, please don't.
It's the phase. That's the one you want. If anything, it'd be like, how do I stretch out this honeymoon phase? It's dying. Like, how do I reignite it? Should be the question. But yeah, just make sure you're being mindful of the time you spent with your significant other, the time you're spending with your friends, being present for your friends when you are hanging out with them, and making sure that time dedicated to them is for them. Like, you don't have to bring like your boo. Like, just be with your friends. So
yeah. Truly that. It's all about the calendar and making sure that you prioritize. Like, don't cancel stuff just to be like, oh, I'm spending too much time with you, I gotta go hang out with my friends. Like, just plan ahead. Just plan ahead. Plus, if your friends are in relationships right now, they're still gonna be busy as well. So you all are gonna have to like work harder to make time for each other anyway, and just like kind of be ahead of that. But also say once the funny thing is, and the slightly rude thing is you're not even in the relationship yet. So
I know, goddamn.
I appreciate that you are trying to plan and trying to be a good person so that you don't make friends feel a type of way, but it sounds like a lot of your friends are booed up. So like Kris was saying, they're gonna understand when you get in that honeymoon phase. But if you just want to be sure to find a balance, look at your calendar and track the days that you are hanging out with your significant other whenever that happens, and say, hey, I haven't seen XYZ person in a minute. Make sure you're remembering the important days. Make sure you're remembering the birthdays and all those other fun things. Do double dates. That helps to hit two birds with one stone. Like, have fun with it. I feel like, you're nervous about getting back into the dating scene, and when you think about all of the stuff that has happened while you've been single, I understand not wanting to repeat it and doing those things, but also don't take yourself away from the good that will happen for you.
Yeah.
Calendar is
Hope
the answer.
that helps.
All right. This next Am I a Bad Queer comes from Janet. Janet says, am I a bad queer if my girlfriend makes significantly less money than me and I've started to resent her for it? I didn't think I'd be that person, but I'm noticing that I'm the one funding our life and it's making me feel a type of way. She's aware of the gap, but she's doing her best, and I don't know why I'm being weird about it. I also don't know how to best have a conversation with her about it. Help. Janet. All right, Janet, it sounds like not only is she aware, it sounds like you were aware. When you came into this, it sounds like you were also aware of the gap, so that results in paying more and being the person that kind of helps to fund and does all of the things. So if you were aware of this and now you've hit the resentment phase, you have to have a conversation, because you're stating that it sounds like your girlfriend is doing her best. You're going to give her the benefit of the doubt with that is kind of my question. So is it a thing where you need to sit down and like better understand finances? Is it that y'all need to sit down and have dates that don't cost so that you're not worried about shelling money as well because you have financial goals, but you feel like they're falling away? I'm coming up with stories right now for you. So there's reasoning here, but money is a huge thing in relationships. And so being able to just have a reset conversation of, here are the expectations when it comes to our dates and what things cost and all of that will help create clarity, because resentment comes from lack of clarity and anxiety. So if you go and have those conversations to say, hey, I would really just like to get on the same page about finances and what that looks like for us moving forward. You have your expectations, ask her to come prepared with them, and just talk and get on the same page. But when you're talking, you need to have trust in the things that she says. So if she's like, I am doing my best, I am trying to do this, or this is going to take time, things like that, you need to be able to see if that like works for you. and go from there.
Yeah, all of those things. I also think it's just like there's some stuff I feel like you separately should kind of figure out about like what you will accept, because you might date somebody who's always going to make significantly less than you, and this kind of is what it is. Like, it sucks. I guess if she's trying her best, you know, have those conversations about just the here and the now, and like paying for things, and maybe y'all don't go out as much, maybe you don't do as many like costly stuff, but the economy sucks. It's at an all-time just shitty state for a lot of people, so maybe it's a conversation about like what the future holds and what she does want to do to it kind of sucks that it comes down to these conversations, but money is what, you know, money is money. Like, we need money to live, but like what she wants to do to try and like make more money, and if you want her to make more money, because conversely you could make more money if y'all have that arrangement, like, what does it look like to her? Like, what is she ambitious about? Like, what does she think about like financial future and planning, and like the things she is aware of? Because, you know, whatever job she has right now and money and salary, obviously that can change for better or for worse. And then also like what that would look like if you lost your job. How would that look? Like, what if you lost your job? That, you know, knock on wood, I hope you don't. But like, if she had to kind of carry y'all, like, is she ready for that? Conversely, is she going to have resentment? Because all of this is very fleeting. The economy is very, very bad. So yeah, like, even future planning is a little difficult. Like, she could want to do these things, and like, I don't know if that, it might not even exist in a couple years, or there might not be the opportunities to do that. So it's, you know, a big conversation is to be had between y'all, but you also personally have to think about like what you can handle and deal with, and making sure that you have that safety too, because a lot of this is a safety thing for you too. You don't want to just keep giving up your money to somebody who wouldn't reciprocate that, but also like you kind of want a good investment, you know. You do, like, you're like, if I'm putting my money into this person, I want to feel that. In some cases you might want to feel that back. And like, what does that look like? What if she never makes as much money as you? What if you're always going to make more money than her? And again, conversely, like, what if you lost your job and she was the only one with money? And like, how would that go? Because the tables can turn very quickly, and she might resent you, and you might not even be ready for being the broke one. Like, what that would do to your psyche. So yeah, it's just worth having a conversation about money in general, and just the future and ambitions, and like what you want to do to make sure that you both have a financial safety and are looking out for each other. So yeah, like, have that conversation, and also think about, again, for you personally, like, what would be okay, what would feel safe for you, what would feel, you know, satisfying for you. Do you want her to make X amount more, where it's like y'all are sharing this, like maybe you take care of these things but she takes care of this stuff, but you're comfortable because she is making more? Like, do you want to take care of some bill stuff and like her money be the money where it's like, if I'm taking care of bills, maybe you do pay for when we go out. Like, all you have to worry about is like when we do go out, you take care of those things. Because there's so many arrangements to have, but it does warrant a conversation and being real about stuff and being prepared for what could be, because the tables could very quickly turn and you could be the broke bitch. And she might resent you. So that could very much happen.
See,
like,
and this is from married knowledge. Like, look at this. These are the conversations.
It's ebbs and flows. Ebbs and flows. Things happen. Things change. Like, things
all
change.
The time.
Things are out of your control. Like, again, it's not to beat a dead horse, but to beat a dead horse, like, the economy sucks. There's a lot of people who've been unemployed for a while. There's a lot of very skilled people who have so much experience, have all the degrees, and they can't get a job. There's people who are just graduating now that are graduating to no jobs. They can't even get their foot in the door in the ways that even us as millennials didn't know. It's like so bad. I feel so bad for college graduates these last few years. Yeah, and their prospects. Like, when we graduated, shitty. Yeah,
a job was guaranteed. Like, it may not have been the exact one that you wanted, but like, you could get a job. And now it's like,
you could work.
We can't get no jobs.
You can't get anything.
No
And I'm
job.
talking about people with like degreed up, great GPAs, all of the things.
Awards.
There's so many skilled
Like,
awards,
all
of that. Like, and can't get anything. Like, and I'm not talking about how they always try to crunchy granola the soft degrees of like the liberal arts, English. No, there's engineers and there's computer science majors. There's the majors that 10 years ago you would have been making great money out of college and building towards whatever, that are getting fired. And then there are those same people who graduated 10 years ago and had those great jobs making well into six figures that got fired and they can't get a job either. So it's like, it's very bad from top down, white collar to blue collar in a lot of cases. So like, you got to get some grace, but y'all should have that conversation for sure, because there's got to be something. You have to feel more comfortable, and like Shayna said, y'all not talking about it is what's giving you anxiety and resentment. Because if she's trying, like she probably feels that, like she might feel like she isn't pulling her weight and would love to have something that she could do for you consistently that makes you feel good. She could even take a bill of yours that's not even that expensive and say, I got it. Like something like that, where you at least be like, damn, like she's doing something. But yeah, shit's hard. So just figure out what y'all, will work for y'all, and what would happen if both of y'all were to lose a job. One of y'all were to lose a job. Like what happens then? Who supports what? Like what would y'all do? So, and a lot of people are facing this. So there's a lot of resources online. There's a lot of support you could have and support groups for that. So, get to it. You might be feeling bad. I hope she don't feel bad about that.
I hope she don't feel bad.
I also know you don't feel good about that. I understand that end of it. I too am a provider. So like it sucks. Like sometimes you get your check and it's like, woo, it's all gone pretty much. It's going to other people. It's going to other things. I don't get to do shit with it. And yeah, like you either got to be okay with that because you've had that conversation, you're building towards something, it's not just you, or, yeah, it's just a conversation to be had. So good luck. Yeah. Woof.
Thanks, Janet. I was like, I know we did 4 stories today,
Janet.
So we could do the 2 and be good. You want to do the 3rd? What would you like?
We'll do the 3rd here.
All right, let's
this
do it.
last one is from Taylor. Taylor asks, am I a bad queer? If my parents know I'm queer, but they never ask about my girlfriend, and we all just pretend that part of my life doesn't exist. Like it works, but it's also lonely in a weird way. My girlfriend says I should push for more, but my family's version of acceptance is we don't talk about it. And I'm kind of okay with that. I should also highlight that my family is Black and my girlfriend is mixed. Taylor. Okay, one of these again.
It sounded like a Black family.
Yeah. It might not matter that your girlfriend is mixed at all. They probably just don't have the language to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. And, you don't have to talk to your parents about your significant other. Now, I do think for your girlfriend, you should push more. You should bring her up casually. I think that there should be, hey y'all, like, still out here. I'm still with somebody. But like, maybe it doesn't have to really be more than that, than just like talking normally about the things you do with your girlfriend. It doesn't even have to be a big, me and my girlfriend did it. It's just like, if you're catching up with your parents, y'all are asking what y'all did this weekend. You could be like, me and such went to blah, blah, blah. So they like just a constant presence. And I think that's what worked for certainly like my wife's side of the family, that like took a little while to come around, in addition to the crab cakes and the steaks and my cooking. But they lived in Florida, so I had to like maintain this virtually. But I did have that conversation with my wife and my girlfriend at the time to like not let them off the hook about that, where it's like, don't like not say I'm around though. Like don't, and that's where your girlfriend's coming from. But what my wife did was just, it is normal. So just work it in. What'd you do this weekend? They tell you, okay, well, we went to brunch with blah, 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 or whatever. It doesn't even have to, my girlfriend. They know her name. You can bring her up because she's a part of your life, and just like talk to them normal, but also be okay with like, you don't have to go to your mom or your parents for like relationship advice or all that, or any acceptance. They should just know you have a girlfriend. You gonna talk about her. You are dating.
Yep.
And you go to the people you go to for like actual advice, because they might be on some, I don't want to say the wrong things. I don't know how to handle this. Like people get weird about that. They really just think that queer relationships are like over sexualized and like so different from any other love. And it's like, it's very normal. We just, watered plants and had coffee and walked the dog on Sunday. Like we're really not doing like the craziest of things. Like, but they don't know that they really have their, preconceived notions of like what they think queer life is. So I think they just, it could go either way, but definitely continue to talk about your girlfriend and just casually bring them up. Like, just tell them she's a part of your life. So talk about that part of your life.
Yes. My family is like this. Don't really bring up. It's not until I'm like dating them for a while that they'll be like, so how's so-and-so?
Takes time.
But that's really it. One, I really don't go to my family for advice on relationships anyway, or to talk about it or do whatever. Once I do mention that like my girlfriend's name is, I am in a relationship. Yes, she will be around. That's about all we got. That's about all we're gonna move through. And so then I started to slowly like bring my partners around to be like, yep, I'm coming home for the holidays. She's coming with.
Yeah.
And it was a statement. It was a statement. It was, and she's coming with. This is what's happening. We are going to be in this space. And it's not like they sit and like are going to ask about our relationship or anything like that. It's just, all right, we got another mouth to feed in the house. All right, she's funny. Like, and that's really it. And sometimes just like, sounds like you're very okay with that arrangement as well, but there's a normalization that your girlfriend is asking for that will validate her. And that is also very important for you to do, because people in relationships want to be a part of other people's families. Like that's one of my favorite things about being in relationships is the relationship with with their families. I love their families. And it's fun to be able to do that. And so maybe she feels like that's a part that's missing because you're just allowing that to happen when there is truly just a normalization that you can be doing in day-to-day life of like, you're on the phone with them and being like, hey, Rachel's in the back. Hi. And keep going from there and slowly working it in. And soon they will be like, how's Rachel?
Exactly. That's really how it goes. It's just a normalization. Like, it's not like you're going to call and pick up the phone. Whoa, we're scissoring. I'll call you back. Like, it's not like, that's not what happens. Like, just say what y'all are doing just normally and they'll be fine. They'll just ask. And it's usually like how you mentioned where it's just like, you mention them at first, like, this is who I'm dating and everything. And then it just gradually, you keep mentioning them as a part of just your normal recap of your life. This is what's going on in my life. This person's part of my life. And then when it comes to bringing them around, it's just like, it's not even a question. It's I'm bringing such and such. And they got to move around it. And in the event that they aren't open to it, then yeah, like it's, as we always say, you just got to make your own family. That's their problem. Like, you don't want to, especially when you find somebody for real. Like, you don't, it's like, oh, that's unfortunate that I love you kind of too, it's mutual. So you can switch. It's all right. But, give them the chance also to warm up and get comfortable with it and all that. So it's important.
It's going to live.
It's important. It's very important. What?
Thank you for doing that example.
Oh, yeah. I'm calling in the scissoring. Yeah. Because, of course, we wouldn't answer the phone if we're scissoring. Duh.
Like, not on purpose.
Duh. Right. Exactly. Have that phone actually far away while we figure this out. Well, hope that helps. Happy Pride, Taylor.
That helps.
All right. That's it for this week's Am I a Bad Queer? Send your questions to backqueers.com. Hit us up on IG at backqueerspod or email us at backqueers@backqueers.com.
What type of bad queers would we be if we didn't have unpopular queer opinions? My bad queer opinion is a community discussion, because I've been seeing this discourse happen online about paying for Pride events, paying for Juneteenth events that run along Pride, and how the price has gone up. And folks feel a type of way. And so the discussion, is it too much? Is it just right? Is the thing. And I really wanted to have this because obviously Kris has a history of hosting events and knows everything that's supposed to go into it. And as a person who attends events all the time, coming from this perspective. And so I feel like today it's a mixed bag, because one, you have to pay for everything. Like, nobody's really giving spaces away for free anymore. Like, yes, we used to well, I think not even used to, still have to probably argue the bar tab, and, you know, promoters have to make X amount for the event to even like get money back and be able to do those things. And so they're trying to offset costs with prices. And yet there are some parties who are 100% overcharging. I recently went to a party that was a complete dud. It was in a space that didn't have any AC. It was like a giant warehouse room. They, right? I was like, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Name them, shame them.
The bar option, it was like you could pay for like a higher priced ticket to have an open bar, but the lines were absurd, and then they ran out of ice, and they ran out of cups, and they ran out of everything. And it's just,
my God,
all the things.
If I had paid that higher price and you ran out of those things, you want to know? My God, I want my money back.
And the price was like $70. And also you're in a venue that, like, yes, still, you know, has flushable toilets, but also has porta potties, and you're like, you're not. This isn't a festival. This is I'm out for a few hours. You know, so it's just like you see some of that happening, and like that's just my example. But I've heard other horror stories that are similar to being like, you're paying between $70 to $120 for like an open bar, and then you show up to the venue and it's not hitting the way that it should. And so when is enough, and when is it just right?
I do think we've reached a point where it's like, all right, let's settle down, because I don't think the quality has grown with the price. Like, y'all are just now fleecing us in a lot of cases because it is surge Pride and now Juneteenth pricing or Prideteenth pricing. As someone who has organized events before, I understand that people are trying to make their money back. There's a lot of upfront costs to hopefully make a profit at the end. As you mentioned, the whole just drink situation and how much you drink and all that. Like, for men, they drink a lot. So usually they don't have that problem. For women's events, it is harder. We don't drink as much. So, you know, it's tough because I know people want to make money. We talked about the economy. Everybody's trying to make a buck or two. But a lot of people, I think the price could be what it is. Like, if you do have a $70 to $120 or whatever event, it's like, okay, but like, how quality is this event? Like, how long have you been doing this? Like, there are people who do just pop up for Pride events to get that Pride money, and then they don't even really run events normally. They don't have any grounding in the community. They're just like, it's a money grab. I also think our events have gotten away from it being community. There's still a lot of colorism, fat phobia, transphobia. Like, there's a lot of things that go on these Pride events still that are like disgusting that it still happens. So I do think there is time for a reset. For years I've talked about there being different kinds of events, and we've tried to shout out the different types of events. Maybe it isn't like so drink centric. So if you are a party promoter or a party producer, maybe you do something out of the box. Like, some of the things we mentioned, you know, in the last couple of episodes and years of like, maybe it's not so drink centric, but you're doing something to bring people in. People will drink if you make them comfortable. If you give them seating, I'm older, I'm big on seating. So yeah, just like different, show us something different. Just show you, it has to be worth it if it's going to be that high. I don't think a lot of these events are worth it currently as it stands from what I've seen, because I don't go out as much. But for the things I've gone to, like, you know, I got to go to Queer Aunties in April when they came out to Oakland, and that was a good party. You see that they care about every portion of the event. Like, it is very much, they live their raps. Like, it is a great event. The music's great. The people are great. It's a great vibe. So they really have curated a really good event. But yeah, I don't know if all of them are like that. And I don't know if everybody, for as much pressure as we put on Pride and Pride events to meet people, to have fun, and these are the times that we're like, more people come out, more people travel to cities. I don't know if they're meeting the moment. So I do think that we've gotten for it being too expensive. Times are hard. Our communities are affected the most with wage theft and just exploitation. So you do have to be mindful of that. And I think we've gotten away from trying to make things so hoity-toity, trying to make things too much like how the straights do it in the club, where it's just like we've lost our identity of like what really makes pride events fun, you know. So I think we're good. We need a little reset. And let's see what else folks come up with. So
yeah,
oof, if you run out of ice,
I agree.
My God, how you run out of ice?
Like, I want to give benefit of the doubt that, like, hey, you were planning on this being somewhere else, and then a bunch of things just went wrong. Like,
yeah,
but don't know. You ran out of ice. But it's the thing, you ran out of cups.
Ran out of ice and cups. See, so then that's what I'm saying. So no, this is just poor planning altogether. And if I am the producer and the event is not prepared for this, I don't know what kind of clauses they have in there, but I am hot about it because you've now might have fucked up my reputation and my ability to make more money at other events, because if I associate you with the no ice, no cups, I'm not going back to your event. I might not try it again, especially for somebody who's older. And that kind of sucks to have that, but I might not go back to that because I'm going to just associate you with no ice, no cups. And I paid a lot of money to get in.
Yep.
So, yeah, that sucks. But I do think we need to reset. We need to take the prices back down, do something different. You know, maybe more day parties, maybe more things in the park or in nature and stuff. Maybe we don't have to go to these establishments that don't give a fuck about us anyway, you know, and do something out of the box, you know? So, you know, I think that's where we are with things. So I am, again, I am hopeful because there's so many good different events out now. So I think people are going to continue to be creative, and not for nothing. Obviously Gen Z doesn't even drink. So they're going to figure something else out. So very soon, because they don't drink like we used to, and God bless them.
They don't.
Guys, don't drink as much as we did. God knows.
Please
don't drink as much as we did. Thank God. I'm just so proud of y'all for the decisions y'all are making with some of these things. Like, where it's like, please don't drink as much. My God.
Please don't.
My
Please
God.
Don't.
Well, anyways, I just have a quick backward opinion, but it's a bad sports opinion, I guess. Which is, I think it's okay to bandwagon in women's sports. Like, we're still, you know, most of our league, the WNBA, which might be maybe the oldest like women's sports league out? Who knows? But it's 30 years old. And most of these other leagues are in their age. They're boomers. They're like, you know, boomer ages and silent generation. Like, they're 80 plus or 70 plus years old. Some of them are in hundreds of years. And, you know, while I don't like bandwagon fans because I grew up as a sports fan, I just hate bandwagon fans. I think in women's sports it's a little harder not to be, especially in the WNBA. Like, I love my aces, but I love the league for the most part. I really do. I'm rooting for everybody in the league for the most part.
Yeah.
Not certain teams at all, but maybe one team. But, you know, everybody else is like, I love the players. I love that they're making more money. I'm just very happy to see it grow. If you grew up in any other era than now and grew up when there were no women's sports basically on television, or it was hard to find, like, this is such a renaissance time. So I'm just happy to see it. So I think it's okay to bandwagon in women's sports. You're okay if you're a diehard, whoever, great. But I think it's okay to bandwagon. Our sports leagues and stuff are so young where we need y'all to support everybody, you know? So support them. More bandwagoning.
I feel like that's also like a natural behavior in women's sports because there isn't that legacy that's there. There's not people who are staying on teams for years. So you saw this a lot in the NWSL. It was you're rooting for your player. You have your favorite players. You are rooting for the team that they are on. Like, wherever Allie Krieger went was who I was rooting for. Those are the only jerseys I bought. The only things that I paid attention to were where she went. And, like, other people do that as well because it wasn't guaranteed that your favorite person was going to be on the team that year. And that's like a key different behavior between the NBA teams and the WNBA teams. Is like the NBA teams have fan bases that are set in the city, and that's what it is because that's how they've been around. Like, women's teams are still moving venues, are still moving to different places, and like don't have that stability yet. And so we end up bandwagoning. We end up being with different teams and different people. But now that they're starting to share stories, now that they're starting to highlight individual player, now we're starting to see very clear stars. it's very fun to see more folks becoming a team fan as compared to specific people fan. But even then, those people are still like, I go to Chicago Sky games a lot. Anytime we play the Aces, most of my friends switch to their Aces jerseys because they're like, this is another team that I love. And then they'll come back and the next week they'll be in Chicago Sky stuff. Like there's things. I still have a NECA jersey from when I lived in the Bay, and this was before Golden State Valkyries were there. So I picked LA because they were the next closest, and I did love NECA. I still love NECA. I'm still very happy that I have.
You were like her manager.
Sparks jersey. Hey, love my girl. Okay. And so it's a thing where it's like that is. That's what it's gonna be for a while.
You've been praying knowing this for years. She don't even know it.
Hey girl.
So. You should get it. If I see that news come across one day, I'm just gonna shake my head and like, NECA Gumake becomes I was like,
just know I'm getting.
Shayna's somewhere crying right now.
I'm gonna hit them up for the fattest check. I'm gonna be like, do you understand how long I've been working on this campaign?
Like, I have tapes. I know you would come with your clips too. Here's my folder of clips. Yep. You're like, I've divided them out by year. I started around 2021, and from there on, I have manifested it honestly year after year. So you're like, I don't know how much that costs. Maybe that's like as much as the manager, maybe like a 3% I could take. But you certainly have wielded this. Just off the top. You know.
And then if she wants to give me a full-time position on her team as she's commissioner, like,
you're like that, or
it's the least she could do. What's my or? What's my?
You would say that the 3% or a job.
Yeah.
In her administration. Yeah. So, or both. So.
Honestly, go big.
Yeah. By the way, are you gonna watch that Ashlyn Harris documentary on Roku?
If I can do it, I don't know if I can do it. I think I might do it.
Yeah, just for research purposes.
I think I might.
You watch it and let me know how much Sophia Bush is in there.
I feel like she's opening it. I feel like it's like it starts off with her before it goes to Ashlyn, even though it's an Ashlyn Harris documentary. You know, honestly, I'm going to see what happens in Cannes this year. In Cannes, and
always happens in Cannes.
What happens there, because that's where everything started. So I need to know what happens this year, and then that will decide whether or not I watch it. I feel like that's a fair thing. Yeah.
Is Ashlyn Harris, has she stopped? She still hasn't put up or done any more of those hip hop videos anymore, right? That's all gone.
Not that I've seen. I think Sophia nipped that in the bud, and that's like the only thing I could be really grateful for. And
honestly, when we say accomplice, like this is what we mean beyond, just race. Like culturally, I feel like Sophia was like, "Don't you ever do that dumb shit again. Stop. Stop it.
That I would say thank you, but otherwise,
I know. And that's the thing is like, I just hope that like Sophia did, homework, but I hope it turns out all right for Sophia. Cause I was like, Ashlyn Harris, huh? I know we fully had to do like a be careful what you wish for, because Sophia was in so much queer canon stuff that we were like, just come over here. And then we got her over here and I was like, but not that way. So we got to also start being more specific in our manifesting. We do. Maybe that's a future bad queer opinion that I bring back. Yeah. So yeah. I just hope, again, when we talk about sending our best, on the white side of things, we don't talk about it a lot, but on that side of things, she's might as well be like I won't say young MA, but just, very fuckboy behavior out of that one. But, I will give that she's a looker. So that really gets her very far. She does that, stupid kind of gaze.
She got that little voice, that little rasp.
Yeah. It
really gets people going.
The sleeve, obviously. So I could see how that could happen. I could see how it could happen to Sophia. I hope Sophia is fine, and I hope that Sophia understands that Ashlyn represents herself and not the community. And if it weren't to work out, stay a little while, try again, So, all right. I think we did it.
Great. On that note, let's go ahead and wrap up the show. But, we would never leave you without giving shout outs to our faves. My shout out this week goes to the book A Little Kissing Between Friends by Chintzia C. Higgins. So this is a contemporary friends to lovers sapphic romance about a music producer, Sin, and her best friend, Juicy, a dancer who realized their close bond might be more than platonic, risking their friendship for a chance at love. You can follow and support Chintzia at Chintzia C. Higgins on IG.
Chintzia has some really great books. I've read the Devon and Kris Plan a Wedding, and I still want that to be made into something. I think it'd be cute, but
yeah,
it's kind of like they went to Love Island. Not really
Jasmine.
Love Island, but
Jasmine,
you know, something. It's just great. It's just a great author. Shout out to her. All right, my shout out is to Xula Herbs, which is an LGBTQ Latina and Black-owned hemp brand. Born out of Mexico City, their mission is to utilize the ancestral knowledge of plant-based healing practices and combine it with modern CBD science to uplift all bodies left out of our society's gaze. You can follow them on IG at Xula Herbs. Yeah. I was like, yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Well, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. We will see you next week.
Take care.